There's more to a rhino than meets the eye. There are 5 different kinds of rhinos. The white rhino has 2 horns, so does the black rhino, but it's more aggressive. The one-horned Indian rhino looks like an armored tank. The Sumatran has long red hair. And the Javan rhino is so rare, we couldn't even get a picture of one.
Hi, I'm Jack Hanna. Join me on Zoo Life to learn more about the animals of the world.
When we think of Africa, we think of a land filled with astonishing sights and sounds and wondrous animals of all kinds. Africa, a land where for thousands of years native peoples have lived so close to these animals that they're at the very heart of their folklore. Most of all, we picture Africa as a continent of great land mammals roaming freely across vast plains. It would be hard for most of us even to imagine an Africa without these magnificent creatures. But across much of the continent, many of these animals are already disappearing. More than 95% of the black rhinos in Africa have been killed by poachers in the last 20 years. If you know Africa, you know how this place just gets in your blood. The physical beauty, the majestic power, can seem like a magical dream. To lose an animal like the black rhino could spoil this dream forever. Glenn Tatum is the chief warden for Zimbabwe National Parks and one of the leaders in the struggle to save the black rhino. Glenn invited me along to locate the few remaining rhinos in northern Zimbabwe in preparation for a great roundup, to relocate them to safe haven in the United States and Australia.
Okay.
His team of trackers set out into the bush with high hopes of finding rhino. Glenn led the way.
Part of the strategy for conserving the black rhino has taken into account the need to get them to breed in captivity. In the wild, to see a black rhino naturally is coming to the end. We don't want to see that. Rhinos have been killed for their horns. Simple as that. There's no other reason. Simply to remove the 2 horns they have, to sell, and make illegal business out of it. Very simple. There's nothing else a rhino is killed for. Every species that disappears is a link from the chain. We don't know how many links we've got. We don't know how many will be removed before the chain breaks completely.
As the day progressed, I could see that Glenn and his team were becoming more and more concerned. We weren't having any luck at all.
Yeah. I'll say there's no signs of rhino at all here. They've been poached, killed. They're here, but they're very secretive. We're not finding any signs. But we're not going to give up, of course. That's the last thing we're going to do is give up.
I could see as I watched Glenn that he was one of those people who would fight to the finish to save these animals.
5-6 years ago, it was a common thing to see rhinos at this time of the day. We would go on a drive between 6 and 8 o'clock and see 2 or 3 rhinos with our trail. You don't see them anymore. They've just been totally annihilated in this area. rhino in the wild today is, for me, of incredible significance. And I am moved to the point of, on one hand, despair, on the other hand, encouragement, because there are still rhinos in the wild. Here we have one living. We have that ray of hope, and seeing one in the wild is that ray of hope.
The rhino rescue operation would start the next day. That gave me time to visit a local farm on the way. But this was no ordinary farm. Seeing a black rhino in the wild, it's hard to imagine that such a powerful animal could ever be domesticated. But that's exactly what farmer Tony Mitchell has done. Somehow, along with his cows, his chickens, and his pigs, Tony has been raising 7 black rhinos.
Come on. Right. Come on. See, that's the dominant male there. That's why he's keeping all the others away from me. Come on. Come. Come for me. Come on. Come on. Come. Come. Come on. Come. 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 Come on. Come on. There. Now, my good. Yeah.
Tony's farm is an example of the kind of effort and concern that you find for these animals in Zimbabwe. He got the rhinos from the National Park Service in a special program to see how rhinos would fare in conditions like these. It takes a certain kind of guy to care for a 3,000-pound animal the way you would a puppy. Tony loves his rhinos.
I actually love being scratched, these animals. You can see what the horn is made of, just the matted hair.
So that's what they're killing these animals for.
Yeah, in the Far East they say that it's an aphrodisiac and it's used for medicinal purposes, and the Yemen use it as a ceremonial dagger handle as well. To kill this huge animal just for that, there's absolutely no value in it whatsoever. When it comes to medicinal purposes, I just don't really see the point in it. Very vulnerable animal, this. Extremely bad eyesight, and if the wind is right, you can actually get very close to these animals in the wilds. Come, Noddy. Come, big one. Come, Noddy. This is actually an antibiotic powder that I'm putting on. I've got a couple of scratches on them. Hopefully some of that powder has gone actually into the eye. It's a general antibiotic, but it's also very good for the infectious ophthalmia. You can see parts here with this dried blood on this particular rhino. That's just from having the odd tussle. We got them at 4 months old. Bring them up and hopefully breed from them. We have security guards on these animals at night, obviously because of the poaching prospect. But from 4 months old to this their present age of 5 years, I think you probably agree with me. They've done pretty well and they're looking in pretty good condition.
Is that the truck coming with the milk bottles? I guess it's rhino dinner time.
Yeah, then they get a little bit excited, as we often have a little bit of a stampede. We go into the pens with the bottles and feed the rhino, and it's very quick, sometimes 20 seconds and a whole bottle is gone. But once we fed them, we get out quickly and close the gate, otherwise some of us tend to get hurt in there. And if they start on us, then we've got a problem.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I guess, Tony, that's the end of the feeding. And the end of the day for the rhinos.
That's it. They all go in there and they eat their hay now, up the back. And that's them for the night.
When I joined the rhino roundup the next day, the base camp was a flurry of activity, with everyone getting ready. Careful attention was being paid to the special tranquilizing darts, which are essential to bringing the rhinos in safely. Dr. Mike Koch was the veterinarian in charge of the entire capture operation.
Just this. But next time that's shot, it's not going to fit.
Mike, to capture these rhino, we need a truck, a helicopter, what all? How many men?
Yeah, we have a helicopter. We can catch these rhinos on the ground without a helicopter. We need some sort of air presence, either a helicopter or a fixed wing, which helps us spot the rhino. And then we have a crew of individuals who, in this instance, are extremely experienced. They've been involved in catching rhinos since 1986. So you'll see them in action. They're very, very good.
We're talking 30 men over there, 2 trucks, 1 helicopter, 1 airplane. This is a big operation. Oh, here, look at this, John. Here comes our fixed wing. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, right on us. Now we ought to be able to have some luck.
Yeah.
There at the base camp, I ran into my counterpart from Australia, John Kelly, director of the Taronga Zoo in Sydney.
John, looks like they haven't got the rotor blade fixed yet to capture the rhino. Do you want to go first?
No, you can go first, Jack.
That's amazing, though, that we have to come here. You being director at Taronga in Sydney, Zoo in Australia, me in Columbus, Ohio. We've never met. And here we are in the middle of Africa.
Yeah, the most remote part of Zimbabwe. It's quite extraordinary.
I think what is more extraordinary is that two countries, Australia and America, are working so close with this country to save the rhino.
Yeah, I think it's a very good development. It's the first of its kind.
Now, isn't it amazing we're taking animals from another country and they're going to be probably saved in a totally different country thousands of miles away?
Yeah, well, I think, Jack, that's one of the key elements of the plan under the International Black Rhino Foundation, is that the animals will be bred in safety, in captivity, in both the United States and Australia, and then at an appropriate time they will be sent back to Zimbabwe into protected conservancies.
Well, let's hope the international effort works. And please, until they get the rotor blade fixed, I'd stay on the ground.
I intend to.
Okay.
Nice talking to you, Jack.
Good day. Good day. Is that it?
Good day. See you, buddy. You're welcome.
Shortly after the chopper was fixed, the team had picked up the trail of two rhinos.
Scouts are tracking a big car and car. Copy?
Nice beauty. Back at base camp, we got word from the tracker, and the race was on. I jumped on board one of the trucks with the vets and the support team that would have to bring the rhino out of the bush once and if it was captured. Mike made a direct hit with his dart rifle. The rhino took off, but it would only be a matter of minutes before the drug would take effect. Mike rushed in by helicopter. For the rest of us, it was a hard 3-mile run through the bush to reach the rhino.
We'll have to cut these trees, How's she doing?
She's doing very well. Dad, Barkley, please supervise this bleeding because it's critical we get the blood, all right? We need to use a 16-gauge needle, not an 18. Eh?
Yeah. Mike's team of veterinarians were on hand to monitor the effects of the drug.
I can hear it.
Oh, is this the baby?
Yeah, she's about 3 years old.
How's she doing?
No, she's fine. She's stable.
Now the baby will go back with the mother.
Yeah, we'll let them both onto the truck and they'll both go into the same boma together, so they'll definitely be together.
I can't get over how nice looking this one is. Healthy.
Yeah, no, she's in very good condition.
No worries. Go back to your mother now. Go back to your mother.